Hello? Are we back? Am I back? I think we're back. Okay, good. Anyways, hopefully this is better. Um, because apparently it had decided that actually you want to use like the laptop's default mic input and not, the nice mic that I have set up specifically to do this. So, apologies about that. Hopefully it's working again. What a great start to the day. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all well. Best Bandicoot has been up to his usual tricks, I see. Yeah, genuinely, yeah. Having problems with camera stuff, in as much as I've had to switch the way that I make video calls with my parents, because my parents live in Canada and I do not live in Canada. So we have a weekly video call, which used to be we had the old Xbox had like a webcam thing set up with it, and we would use Skype on that. Now we can't use Skype on that, so I'm using Teams on my computer, and Teams on my computer wants to connect to this camera, which is not connected up, or something that I would use to video chat to my parents. So every time I have to change that back to like the computer's inbuilt webcam, and it's also using the computer's inbuilt mic at that point, to which end I think the streaming software got confused and decided to default back to the computer's default mic instead of the supplementary mic that I have set up here. By the way, I'm sick, so apologies for the sound of my voice and the fact that I'm going to have to mute semi-regularly to blow my nose. Also, hello, Samantha, welcome in. We know who's really to blame. Yeah, it's our terrible Bandicoot. Just video call your parents while lying down on your work table, says Samantha. Honestly, it might be a better angle than me sitting with my laptop on my knees, and they're seeing, like the underside of my chin. So maybe it might be better. One moment, please, chat. I need to blow my nose. Oh no. So I have taken, I took the best medicine that we have in the house before stream started. So I'm kind of hoping that it will make my symptoms be less symptomy, because I've blown my nose so many ding dang times today that it hurts. Like, my nose is sore now, and this is not fun. I'm not having a good time with it. 0 out of 10 do not recommend. So yeah, feeling great today. Trying to be very gentle with myself. I had a very gentle lunch of some salad and a Spanish omelet. And gently painting today. Let me talk about what we're painting today. So this is a statue of a moth creature that looks like a bunny to me. I know it's a moth, but it looks like a bunny. So it's a bunny moth now in the like dreamland. So I thought that would be a fun thing to paint. I should probably bring up like a picture of it to have as a reference so that I know what the heck I'm doing. For anyone who doesn't know what this is all about, this is Hollow Knight Art Month this month. So I'm doing Hollow Knight fan art all month. If you don't know Hollow Knight, the video game, it doesn't matter. It's a fun time. It's really cute. And you can just enjoy the pretty cute pictures. Like, you don't need to know more than that. But I will. Seer equals bunny moth, says Tals. Yep. Oh yeah, speaking of, yesterday's prompt was the seer. So I did a little portrait of our favorite mothsome gal. Let me see if I can show. Let me show you. Yay, there she is. And I just love the comment that I got on this from Gabe here. Because Gabe says this portrait of my grandma came out beautifully. Thank you so much, Gabe, for giving me a chuckle. I did appreciate that comment very much. Anyways, is it a statue to one of your backers? Says Samantha. If I had backers, I would surely statue them. It might be bad. The statues might be bad and probably made out of polymer clay and about this tall, but like I could. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was going to look up Moth Statue Dream Hollow Knight. Because I just want to try and remember what the background I'm looking at having for this piece looks like. Ah ha ha. Okay. All right. I got the picture I'm looking for. So that's good. I think I can do that. Hopefully some measure of justice. So to that end, I'm gonna masking fluid off bits of this. Also, because I'm gonna be doing like the underpainting where the background needs to dry for a little bit, I do have a second painting for tomorrow that we can also do some work on. Also, how is everyone? How are your weekends? It's lovely to see you. Is it a bank holiday where you live right now? If it is, how are you spending your bank holiday? How have you spent your bank holiday? If it's not, how is your Monday going? This is the other piece that I've got. Now, I haven't done anything with the background for this, because I'm hoping I can just do a lot of real vague, like, gradients and stuff for backgrounds here, but this is so stupid. But the way that, okay, so mild spoilies for the game Hollow Knight that's been out for, like, 84 years, is that when you battle the Mantis Lords, if you can best them in combat, you earn the respect of the Mantis clan, and they will bow when you go past them instead of trying to fight you. And it made me think of, like, you know, like the dances and stuff that they used to have in, like, the year 1800. So I drew this little, like, Regency lad and this little Regency Mantis lady, and they're at a dance, and they're going to have a little dance together. And I just thought that was the stupidest, cutest thing, and I had to draw it. Oh, look at his little cravat. This is so silly. This is going to be an incredibly silly artwork, but I'm very excited for it, so. Yee! It is a bank holiday, but I'm still working because we don't get those off. Boo! I'm having work from home, because bank holiday buses are, love that for you, Samantha. Very much I love that for you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, work from home. But sorry you have to work. Anyways, so this is what we're doing today. Just a little guy just waving hello. They are waving hello at this Moth Buddy statue, because why not? I thought it would be fun. Anyways, Lino reckons that the mantis in a cravat is adorable. Thank you. Thank you. I think very, come on, focus. Very dapper little buddy. I hope this one turns out cute. I had a fun time trying to figure out how to put, like, human clothes onto, pretzels. Pretzels. We've got an old-timey mid-Atlantic accent for the next 5 minutes. Well, I'm going to struggle through this because I've come down with some kind of cold. So, pretzels, I'll try my best, I'll try my best, Moriax. But I can't promise anything good. Now then. This is the piece that we're working on first of all, and I need some masking fluid. If you're not familiar with masking fluid, it's disgusting and deeply unpleasant, and I can't endure it, but, you know, I'm going to try my best anyways. My true accent has been revealed. Terrible drawing time isn't on. Well, you know, listen. I'm under the weather, and I'm trying my best, okay? Anywho, I need to keep talking because it's terrible drawing time, and that's something that I'm supposed to be doing right now. So let me do that as well while I do some futzing in the background. And just do not pay no attention to the streamer behind the curtain. They're doing their best, okay? Listen, they're very sleepy. They're not feeling very well. Anywho, right. Well, that's done. Please be nice to me. I'm trying my best. Anywho, now then, hello, Cranky Martini, welcome in, how are you doing? It's wonderful to see you and welcome in. Now, you're right in time for the moth. You're right in time for some very pained noises as I try to open this thing. Anyways, I've done it. Takes a lot of, the thing is, it sticks to itself, this masking fluid. You can see all of this gubbins that's just sort of dried up in the very top of the the very top of the lid of the thing, which I'm now trying to peel off because now it's sticking itself together. It's quite difficult to get it open. Oh, it's not pleasant to look at. I'm sorry. I'll do this off camera. Right. Just tip that into the garbage where it belongs. Now, get some misplaced masking fluid somewhere on the canvas and try and get rid of it, and I probably just spread it around and now the paint's not going to stick. Never mind. And some of it is stuck to the bottom end of my brush as well. Good. Great. Wonderful times. Having a good one. Anyway, how's everyone else doing? I hope you're having good Mondays, whatever you're up to. I do have a lovely, lovely cup of mint tea. And I'm looking forward to doing this painting. The prompt for today was statue, and I did think of that there are many different statues in and around.
Attention.
Twitch user Sammy Kelsch.
Shoppers.
Never mind, we've got a raid. Hello there, Sammy Ann. Welcome in, and thank you so much for the raid. It's lovely to see you, and welcome on in. Hello, raiders. We're right in the middle of me having to speak in an old-timey mid-Atlantic accent for the next 2.5 minutes or so, so I do apologize for that, but never mind. Anywho, how was your stream? It's wonderful to see you, and welcome on in. Hello. Let me get a shout-out for the wonderful Sammy Ann in the chat. If you're not familiar, you really ought to go give them a follow. She's right there. I've done a shout-out in the chat. How was your stream? What did you get up to? And hello, Sammy Ann. Hello, Avery. Welcome in, friends. Hello. You're just in time for masking fluid hours, which is my favorite thing to do. And it's wonderful to see you indeed. Hello. For anyone who's new here, I don't know entirely Sammy's usual accent. Don't listen to them. Do not listen to them. It isn't true. This is a mess, is what it is. But we're having a lovely time. Welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday, whether or not it's a bank holiday where you live. I hope it's a good one. Anywho, for those who aren't familiar with yours truly, hello, my name's Twitch user Sammy Kelsch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and most of the time on Thursdays, except when I do a game stream occasionally on Thursdays, but only when I'm feeling extra crispy. And normally I do game streams on Fridays as well. Currently we're making our way through a run of the video game Hollow Knight, which this artwork is based on. But you don't need to know anything about that to enjoy it. You can just enjoy the cozy vibes if you prefer. Anywho, I've just masked off this little so-and-so because I want to do some underpainting around the background, and I didn't want to paint in this little buddy incorrectly, shall we say. Anywho, we did, teacher's gifts. Oh, how lovely. And a tiny little bench from Hollow Knight, says Sammy Ann. Oh, that is on brand. Wonderful. We love to see it. As always, if there is anything that you would like to share, you are very welcome to do so, and we would always love to see it. Very much we would. Anyways. Hello. Sorry about that. My accent is it discernibly Canadian at this point? I don't know. I don't know whether or not I've told this story on stream, but I met someone here in my city of residence last year who was a Canadian person, and we were meeting for the first time, and they were like, American? And I just looked at them like, you didn't just do that. And I asked, whereabouts are you from in Canada? And they named a town I shan't name the town for the sake of their privacy. But let's say it was Barrie. It wasn't Barrie, but let's say it was Barrie, which is like a couple of hours from where I live. Or where I'm from, rather. I was just like, well, I'm from Guelph. And they're like, oh! And I don't know if they ever recovered from that. I don't know if I ever recovered from that. Because what the heck? I'm very... Thank you, Sammy Ann says you're very much not American in accent. Thank you. Thank you, Sammy Ann. From one Canadian to another. Can you believe to learn? That was wild. That was so wild. I was like, oh god. Has my lilt shifted so much that even like a fellow Canadian from the same region that I'm from is like, what are you? No! Anyways. So weird. Anyways, yeah, that was a bizarre experience. As always, we are an art tax optional stream, but if there is anything that you would like to share, Sammy, and I would love to share it with the class, just let me know. There's a tiny amount of British intonation on vowels that I get once in a while. I'm not surprised, and I do notice it in myself as well. That sometimes a lilt comes through, like, with certain, like, glottal stops. But that's not something that would mistake me as, like, American, because they also don't do that, you know? Like water bottle is weird. And I certainly use British, like, terms for things because, you know, it makes sense to adopt local dialecty gubbins as much as gubbins. That's a word. To adopt at least some measure of local dialecty gubbins so that people around you aren't like, did you mean the lift when you say elevator? That kind of thing. Insta or Blue Sky tour if you'd like, but otherwise I don't interrupt. I would love to. Bottle of water! Bottle of water! Yeah. See, I'm Canadian. Bottle of water! Anyways, because they're better. So okay, I have no interest in discoursing about such things, because I don't care. I know some people are very, can be genuinely very, like, combative about, their, you know, certain, like, correct usage of words and stuff, when in fact it's not necessarily that someone is saying something incorrectly, they're just saying it in a different dialect. You know, it's like, I feel like this is something that's potentially kind of dying out, but New Yorkers were for a long time known for saying that they're online rather than in line, or as we would say here in the UK, queuing for something. And when I first heard that, I was like, that's weird, but that's just a slight difference in terminologies. Like, it's fine, who cares? Anyways. But yeah, for anyone who's not familiar with my oeuvre, this is something what I posted yesterday. For the Hollow Knight Art Month. And this is what I posted the day before. I love this piece. It's so stupid. It's so stupid, but I had so much fun coming up with it. Because if you're not familiar with this character, you get into a boss fight with him, and he does this little angry dance, and, like, lasers shoot all over the place. But his little angry dance reminds me so much of, like, the angry stomping around that Animal Crossing villagers do when they get upset. And so I decided to put him in, like, an Animal Crossing situation. Anyway, this is Sammy Ann's art, which if you're not familiar with, here's a beautiful, beautiful goose, which I absolutely love. This it is characteristically Angie, but a beautiful Canada Day goose. And also, congratulations, Canada, on your recent election. I'm happy that people voted and did a good job of it. Congrats. Anyways, and then there's Sammy and the action figure. How stinking cute! Got all of the supplies that you need. Got your kitty headphones and a little dragon. Teeny shoulder drago, I love, and a nice cup of tea and some glasses, and obviously the most important thing of all, your brush, so you can do painting. I love it. That's so stinking cute. If you don't know, Sammy Ann is the master of doing adorable dragon art. Like, look at Fluffbuckle. Look at Fluffbuckle and their friend. It's so cute. I love this so much. It's so cheerful. One of the things I love so much about springtime is just how, like, floral and colorful everything is, and this captures it so beautifully. I love it. Anyways, if you're not familiar with Sammy Ann, again, Sammy Ann action figure. Says Samantha, yes, exactly. We love it. We love it so much. Let me get another shout out for Sammy in the chat. Because I can. Anyways. And again, go give her a follow if you're not already. Gazillion out of 10 do recommend. A good time, a good person, and a wonderful artist to boot. My resident Hollow Knight player loves this one. Ah, jeez. Aw, geez, thank you, friends, thank you. Um, the angy little crystal, and Samantha says, Zote's face has that effect. Yes, thank you for catching the little Easter egg that I popped in there on the notice board, that there's one little poster that's got Zote's face on it. I don't know whether I feel like that poster might be like an advisory of like, aware of Zote. Paid for by Zote. And it's just a picture of him and talking about how cool he is, because I think that'd be really funny. How did I know that this was going to come about as a terrible drawing time? All right, we've got a terrible drawing time redeem, everyone. So let me get the terrible drawing canvas here up in front of us. Let me drop all of my paintbrushes, which were precariously placed on this palette in the first place, but you know, that's me. At least it was just the one that I used for the masking fluid, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyways, before I paint the terrible drawing canvas, and before I introduce what the deal is with terrible drawing time, I'm just gonna need to mute the mic for a second again, because my nose, she blowy. One moment, please. Oh, it hurts. Oh, 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Anyways, terrible drawing time is an ordeal that exists on the stream, whereby for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on a terrible drawing canvas such as this. Here's a recently completed one, so you can see what kind of nonsense it ends up being filled with. Good lord. This is a new one. This is specifically, here is Oshawott fighting God, as you do, and here is some fizzy tea, as you do. Best point redeem on Twitch, says Lido. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you to say. Anyways, okay, so the deal with the free range hand reared sausages is that a friend of ours was recently somewhere where there was like a sign for like a cafe or a farm shop out in the country, and sort of pointing and, you know, go this way for things including hand-reared sausages and various other treats I can't remember. We were like, how do you hand-rear a sausage? And it just it conjured the image for me of like sausages frolicking in a field. So that's what I have to try and draw now. Introducing Seth Green as Arceus. I would play that game, Samantha. I would play that game to completion. I would catch them all to see Seth Green play Arceus. I think that would be very fun. Anyways, masking fluids, says Samantha. That stuff you drink when you need to interact with the neurotypicals. God, I wish that worked for me. I really do. Kobe says, considering quitting my job and raising sausages in the glens. I would love to see it. Okay, there's nothing for it but for me to just get a timer up and start working on this drawing of the free-range hand-reared sausages. Here we go, 5 minutes on the clock, starting now. I'm gonna start by taking a sip of my tea, because I need it. Delightful. I feel like given how ruddy my nose has been today, I must be losing more water than usual, so I need to be mindful of that. I need to steady those drawing hands, says Sammy Ann. Oh, yeah, that's a struggle. Okay, all right. I mean, I am lightly nervous, because I do want this to be pretty ding-dang cute, but let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to get little sausage shape. For some reason, I am absolutely picturing them having, like, legs. For some reason, I'm absolutely picturing them having legs. I don't know why. Tea fortified terrible drawing time, says Sammy Ann. Is that not perfect? I hope it's something good, certainly. Okay. I'm gonna do another one over here. It's just kind of frolicking, having a great time. There we go. Look at them. Look at them all. They're just so happy. They're just so happy. Out in the fields. The grass around them. And I do want to try and establish that this is like a field, so we're going to have a nice little fence up here. It's not, I mean, is it a good fence? No, not particularly, but you can tell it's kind of a farm field fence. I hope you can. Kobe says if I won the lottery, I'd get a little sausage of my own. Aw. So if I won the Euro Millions, I'd get a big sausage in the countryside. You know what? That is a mood. That is absolutely a mood. Maybe there's some other little sausages, like, off in the distance. Some more sausages just hanging out. Do. Do. Happy little sausages hanging out in the field. I hope this is what I was meant to do. Gonna have the sun is shining and there's a few clouds in the sky, but it's not too cloudy. It's a fairly beautiful day, I'd say. There we go. Okay. This is hands down one of the best things I've ever drawn, I think. Gonna get just some little shadows. Some little shadows under our little sausages. Just because the sun is doing quite a lot of work here. And maybe, do I want to get just some little... A suggestion, there's a hint of seasoning to these sausages. It's not an unseasoned white sausage. I'm not sure what sort of sausage it is. Maybe it's a nice, like, spiced Italian sausage. Maybe it's a Linda McCartney's vegetarian rosemary and onion sausage. Those ones are quite nice as part of a roast dinner. Whom's to say? Regardless, they're having a lovely time out in the fields. And I hope that that's okay. I've got a minute left, so I'm going to keep embellishing this dang thing because I can, apparently. I assumed the sausages frolicked by rolling around, says Samantha. For some reason, I imagined legs. Legs for frolicking. That tracks, says Lino. Need legs to frolic, says Tals. Exactly. You see the vision. I mean, I like the idea of them rolling around, but I also don't know how I would have drawn that. Ooh, one of the new seasoned breeds. Not accepted at most competitions yet, but they say they get less genetic issues than pure breeds. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. I'm gonna add another fence doodah here. Maybe add a couple of fence posts where there's some troublesome gaps. Maybe add some more sprigs of grasses and what have you. Just embellish the feeling of we're in a nice frolicky field. Well, that's timer, so that's done it, hopefully. Hopefully this is what you were after when you were imagining some hand-reared sausages having a frolic in the field. This is the best thing I've ever drawn. Anyways, I hope you're happy. Because I am. Thank you for redeeming a terrible drawing time. I enjoyed that. That was a good time. That was fun. Thank you. Anywho. Delighted, says Lido. Oh, good. Wonderful. We love to see it. Now, thank you so much. That was genuinely a very fun, silly thing to get to do. So, thank you very much indeed for that. Can I get... Okay, there's a slightly... I was trying to find a nice reference photo for the colors I'm going to need to conjure for this background. And I think it's going to be a weird old combination of, like, orange and my grayish purple. Weird. Lino says if I had money, I'd commission that as a full-size piece, to be honest. That, honestly, that would be a commission I would love to do one day. Genuinely. I will mentally bank that as a possible future painting idea just because I think it would be fun anyways. Okay. So may I introduce to you, the way I do these Hollow Knight paintings is kind of specific. Largely specific to the Hollow Knight paintings themselves. I don't, it's weird that certain, like, the art month stuff, when I do, like, a month of art things, they tend to have, like, a style or a medium that I kind of only really do that time of the year. Like, when I do stream ink in October, I'm using just, like, acrylic inks. I don't really pick up acrylic inks super often at other points in the year. Probably because I use them, like, almost every day for a month. But anyways, so I start with a base of usually one of these pastel colors, which you would think doesn't feel very Hollow Knight in, tone, because they're, like, super radical bright pastel shades, but actually there's a lot of, like, weird background colors and glows and stuff in, the Hollow Knight world that I find that using these as, like, an underpainting works really well for. So I'm just going to pop this to one side, and I want to use, I think I want to use, what's the color called? Is it peach? It's peach. Yeah, I think I want to use peach for this. Oh no. Oh no. Hold up. I am so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. Oh. I was trying really hard to not do that, but here we are. Anyways, never mind. It's fine. So I'm going to gather a nice bundle of peach onto my palette. And I want it to be quite, this is a quite wet wash, because I want to, this is the kind of space when I'm doing, like, a large space like this, I find it's nice to kind of try and play with the paint's inclinations, as it were, and that tends to produce some pretty good effects, I would say. Where can I put this dang thing? Okay, I'm running out of space on my desk. So, I've popped the paints just down to one side, because I am going to need a second paint type once I've put that down, which is our, shadow paints. Bless us, Tals. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Our shadow paints, and I'm going to be using our purplish black shadow color, which I'll bring up just so you can actually see. Purplish black shadow color, which, I mostly use these paints for Hollow Knight art, and you can tell that this one and this one are the most versatile for those environments. Because, oh, biddle boy, is there significantly less of those than anything else. Anyways, oh, sorry. I'm probably going to need to blow my nose again in just a second, because I had a big sneeze. I do apologize. I don't know what I've come down with, if I'm having a reaction to something or if I've caught something. I don't know, but been very snuffy all day. So one moment, please, and then I'll paint. Sorry, there was an ice cream van that started going by in the background, and I didn't want to unmute and have you be, like, suddenly, like, headphone alerted by very loud ice cream van music. I feel like that would have felt a little bit creepy, so I didn't want to do it. Anyways, okay. So I'm going to pick up some of this orange paint, and I think looking at my reference here, I think I'm just also going to paint over the, ooh, this color really puts me in mind of, like, ethereal mac and cheese. Which is not necessarily the vibe I was aiming for here, but, you know, it'll be fine. Anyways, the whole area is kind of suffused with this glow, and then these sort of grayish purple, like, clouds. So I'm gonna start by going in with this, and then I'll lay the grayish purple sort of cast of clouds and stuff over it, and give this, like, a proper paint in as well. because obviously it doesn't want to just be orange. But there's going to be quite a reasonable amount of this sort of weird orange poking through, which is absolutely cool and good for us. Okay. And I think I don't want it to be like soaking wet, but I think I want the canvas to be damp when I go in with the clouds, because I want the definition on those clouds to be fairly soft, but not so soft that they're just like bleeding into each other kind of thing. Green sleeves intensify its lineup. Heck. Okay. Ugh. And my paper's real bendy now. But that's fine. Okay, I'm going to... I got a little plop of paint onto my work surface, so I'm going to get rid of that with some tissue. That goes in the bin. And, now, if I was doing a sort of gradient where I really wanted the colors to, like, just fully blend into each other, I would have mixed the two colors on the palette first. Like, I would have made a puddle of orange and a puddle of purple, and then would have painted them in at the same time. But because I do want it to be a somewhat softer definition on these clouds, but not hard lines, but also not just like fully bleeding and gradienting into each other, I would like the surface of the paper to be damp, not dry, and not like wet. And I think we're just about where it will work well for that. But I do need this purple to not be too dark, because it is purplish black, so it does want to be reasonably dark just in and of itself. So I need to kind of temper that down a little bit. I'm actually going to test it out on this paper and see how saturated that looks. And I think that's okay. I think that should do fine. Cool. Wizard. Anyways. I hope things are still interesting now that I'm just talking about, kind of talking through my process. I hope that's interesting. I don't know. But now I'm just going to try and create some soft cloud-ish shapes. Gonna make sure I don't accidentally create a tangent there or anything. Now this is quite dark. I'm wondering if this is almost a little too dark, but no, I think it'll be okay. And also I've already put it down, so I'm just gonna have to deal with how that looks. I am working slightly from a reference image, but I'm not worried about like the cloud shapes or placement being exactly the same, because clouds move through the sky and they change shape and they change direction and they become greater or lesser, and you know, all of that is fine. So I'm gathering inspiration, but not necessarily needing it to be 100% exactly the same, because that would be silly, kind of pointless as an exercise, and not necessarily true, because clouds aren't generally static. You know, they're ephemeral. They come and they go. They form and they reform. Their shapes change. It's all good. Different types of sky-based phenomena, etc., etc. Anyways. Okay. Probably shouldn't be too concerned about slightly painting over this statue, because really, if you look at it within game, it is kind of blending in. So that's, you know, like, that's fine. I think I'm going to bring some fluffy cloudness down here as well. There is quite a lot of fluffy cloud in the sky. There's not a ton of just bare orange actually looking at it. So I will be adding some more, maybe like, and some clouds can overlap as well with each other. And that's fine also. And I think actually that should hopefully make some cool variations, also. So, you know, fun stuff. Okay. That ice cream van is very loud and also, to a certain extent, tempting. I genuinely, like, the ice cream van seems to start coming around my neighborhood in, like, March, and I genuinely have questions. Like, who is chasing down this, in my very residential neighborhood, who is chasing down the ice cream van? No, clouds aren't static, that's lightning, says Lino. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I mean, it's true. Anyways. Mm-hmm. Good tea. This is Bed Knobs and Broomsticks tea. Which has... It's got a bunch of stuff in it. It's very floral. It's got, like, roses and chamomile and a bit of strawberry. I'm getting mostly roses and chamomile, I think. Me, I have a big net to throw at the vans to catch them so I can take all their ice cream for myself, says Samantha. Now that is clever thinking. That's very smart. That's a good call, my friend. Genius, in fact. This paint is drying super weird. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Cool, I guess. Sure. Anyways, I want to have some more overlapping cloud action happening, like here maybe, and just basically fill in this whole area, I think, is what I would like to do. I feel like this would be very cool of me. Is it? I don't know. Is that cool? I genuinely haven't the foggiest. Anyways. Maybe bring in a little bit, sort of fading. It's kind of fading out. This is a bit more faint. This cloud formation here. Just get some different levels and gradations of cloudness, but also just some hints of just orange poking out for fun. I don't know. I think does that look kind of neat, or have I muddied? Have I muddied too much? I maybe have muddied the mud too much. I don't know. I am going to add a little bit more in places here as well. Because it's kind of, as it's drying, it's kind of lightening in places, and I kind of would like to have a little bit more of the dark as well. I don't know, I'm just, at this point I'm just kind of futzing. Definitely just kind of futzing at this point. Okay. Alright. Partly because I feel like some of the levels are kind of like blurring into each other a little bit. So if I can bring back some interesting differences, that would be kind of rad, actually. Kind of cool of me. Kind of sexy. I don't know. Anyways, rose and chamomile sounds delightful, says Lino. It is. It very much is. There's a bunch of other stuff in it. I can't remember what all is in it. I'm going to look it up because it's going to bother me if I don't. But yeah, it's very nice. Hashtag not sponsored. I cannot spell. Bed knobs and broomsticks tea. I'm trying to say tea, damn it. Okay, there we go. Bed knobs and broomsticks. What is in you? The website is loading. Tis ingredients. It's apple hibiscus, elderberry, chamomile, nettle, rose petals, rosehip, lavender, strawberry, jasmine, and flavors. So yeah, I get a lot of chamomile and rose. And actually, now that you mentioned, there is definitely a hint of lavender in there as well. So, yes. Delightful. Ooh, flavors. Yeah, flavors is my favorite flavor. The best flavor is flavors. Hello, Luna. Welcome in. How are you doing? I have to mute the mic for a second, but I'll be right back. Anyways, hello, Luna. Welcome in. How are you doing? Sorry about that. I'm a little under the weather today, so I've got a bit of a snuffle. So I have to occasionally mute to attend to that. But hello, it's wonderful to see you. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good one. Oh yeah, you missed the free-range sausages. Here, let me bring it back. Free-range, hand-reared sausages frolicking in a field. Once again, I hope you're happy. Anyways. Inside bed knobs and broomsticks inside bed knobs and broomsticks tea are hints of murder in writing. Oh, that's what the flavor is. It's natural flavoring of Lansbury, of course. Anyways, Luna says I was popping into check / remind about it. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Well, it's lovely to see you. Oh my goodness. Anywho, hello. I do hope that you're having a lovely Monday. I feel like this contrasty orange bit is a little too bright, so I'm gonna take as much of this purple out as I can, and just ever so subtly glaze it, so it's not just the color of mac and cheese, but gives it a little bit more, I don't know, gravitas is probably not the word I'm looking for. But let's call it gravitas anyways, because it's a fun word. Now I feel like the values are darker over here than they are over here, and I want to change that, because it's going to bother me if I don't. So, here I go again. With another interesting cloud moment. Maybe if I actually kind of pull it down like this. Just a weird little sort of corner cloud. I don't know. But just dark, a little bit more darkness on this side also, just to keep it from feeling too... I'm feeling too unbalanced in terms of value, I think. Anyways, okay. Alright, we're almost an hour into stream. How did that happen? How did that happen? My goodness. Anyways, thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me. Having a lovely time with this art month, by the way. So far, it's being very fun. Okay, that's feeling a little bit better. A smidgen. Now again, this sort of chunk here feels a little bit weird. Anyways, Sokka's also under the weather today. Oh no, I hope he feels better soon. Please send lots of get better wishes for me, but maybe not anything airborne, because I don't know what I have. I'm not too bad, but it's been a sleepy few days after our hiking few days on Friday, Saturday. That looks like it was such a fun time, and I love that for you, though, genuinely. I'm glad you're getting some rest. But very sorry to hear that Sokka's not feeling very well, and I do hope that he feels better soon. I'll be back in just a second. I need to mute. Alright. Luna says, I've made him a nice spicy minty tea, which is rare for him. Oh, that sounds like a very nice restorative tonic, though. Love that for him. Absolutely delightful. I do. You know I appreciate my teas. I've got 2 going at the moment. I've got mint over here. I had a lemon ginger tea just before stream started, and I've got my bed knobs and broomsticks, which of course is made with bed knobs and broomsticks that have been ground down into a nice sort of fine consistency for infusion. I feel like that would taste incredibly bad. Like, very much I do. Oh no! I feel like the more I futz with this, the worse I'm making it. Because I feel like now I need to futz with it more, but I need to wait for this to dry down a little bit before I can futz. Oh no! Anyways. Because now I just feel like this gap just feels weird again. So I'm gonna lay more cloud over it. I'm just gonna... How shall I do? If I just have, like... Just like another... Maybe if I kind of follow this line up from here and then just fully, like... Just go over this whole section again. Maybe that'll do something good. We are about to go into a BRB. This is a really bad time for me to start painting this bit. So I'm going to work on it real quickly. I'm going to abandon that, and I'm going to pop the BRB screen up. What a fairly plain afternoon tea blend. Ooh, that sounds nice, though. We had to get whole milk a couple weeks ago when we went shopping, and it makes tea feel extra luxurious. Ooh, I do like it in a coffee. In a tea, it feels a little bit strong for you, but that's probably because I'm used to skim milk. And skimmed milk doesn't really do much, but it makes enough of an impact that it matters to me. Anyways, I'll be back in just a second. I'll still be here, but you won't miss anything. Here's the BRB screen. Please enjoy. You might see some ads. I do apologize. I'll be back in just a moment. BRB. Okay, friends, I'm back. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. The ad breaks, they is a necessary evil in the land of Strim, and I'd much rather do it in a way such that you have forewarning. I think that's better. Anyways, this landscape looks super weird now, and I'm cool with that. I want to let this fully dry before we do the, like, foregroundy stuff, so, I have a little bit of time to look at doing some of this as well. Yay! Anyways, this music is so lovely, says Luna. Ah, thank you. I picked it myself. I did not record it, but yes, we were talking about gradations of milk, and I have certain because don't talk about your ages, chat, but because of probably a side effect of how old I am, I'm now getting into things with the doctor to do with, like, hey, don't watch your cholesterol, that kind of thing. So they're like, you know, avoid full fat dairy and fatty cuts of meat, which, like, I don't eat meat anyway, so that's moot. And, you know, they're like, choose fat-free dairy and low-fat cheese and make sure to get 30 grams of fiber every day. And it's just like, like, I already, genuinely, I eat healthy. I had like a spinach and potato omelet with salad for my lunch. That's not a not normal kind of thing for us to eat. Like, I cook a lot of vegetables. I made vegetable soup last night. I think some of these things are just a side effect of, like, I don't know, we live in a stressful society, and I'm getting older, and my body is just bad at being. So it goes, you know. But also, you know, when you get, like, doctor guidance about, like, hey, you know, like, your organs are going to be mad at you if you do these things. It always feels weirdly, like, punitive to me. It feels like I'm being punished in some way for something, because it's like, well, everybody else gets to eat donuts, but if I eat donuts, my throat stops working and I can't breathe. Like that isn't fair. I know it's not. It's not like any kind of personal failing on my part that I have, like, you know, dietary, like, allergies, sensitivities, that, like, you know, cholesterol go up. That's just to get old. That's just people get older, right? You know, that's probably just, like, you have a predisposition to this gubbins. And yet, it just feels, when you see, like the guidelines they give for, like, here's an example dinner that you could have, it's like, that this doesn't feel like a pleasant, you could put in some effort to make this feel like it would be a delicious meal, because it's always like, have a steamed chicken breast with a side of broccoli, and I know they make them as bland as possible to appeal to, like, you know, the British people who are immune to seasoning. British food is lovely, by the way. There's so much amazing, delicious, flavorsome, seasoned British food, and yet it's just, Enjoy your nutrient paste, says Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. Linus says, I can't have a chippy anymore and it sucks. Yeah. I feel like Chippy would give me a lot of problems right now. Also, not to get into too much detail, but I've been on a medication that's really been helping with some symptoms that I've been having as part of one of my many symptoms diseases. And then I got a text from the doctor last time I got the prescription refilled, and they're like, yeah, you can come off that. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure my symptoms will come back if I come off of it, and I don't want to have to put up with my symptoms again while I get the prescription refilled again when I inevitably get symptoms again when I come off this medication. But go off, I guess, so here I am. Flavor some British food, so Samantha presses X to doubt. I swear it's true. Though a lot of the time the flavorsomeness is mustard, which I can't stand. Anyways, Luna says, when I had a massive gallbladder attack and nearly died. Oh my god, I'm so glad that you're better. And I asked exactly what they meant by a low-fat diet. They literally showed me a list describing my typical diet. Yes! That's the annoying thing. They're like, oh, please low cholesterol yourself. And it's like, don't drink, don't smoke. Already don't do that. Don't eat fatty meats. Already don't do that. Eat, plenty of, like, lean fish and vegetables. Already do that. So, like, the only thing that I can change is, like, I don't get to eat cheese. Great. Guess I'll die. It's just, and it always feels like if you tell them this, like, they don't believe you, so yeah, fun times. Anyways, enough about that. These little Regency mantises, I had, like, a really good screenshot of the mantis village earlier, and I don't have that now. I'm not gonna be running from, like, a specific game area or screenshot or anything like that, but I want a reference for, like, kind of the colors and the general vibe, which is very sort of, it's like blue-ish. It's like a dark blue, but there's kind of a teal in the background and a bit of a sort of orangey glow in places. So that's what I'm going to have to play with here. I asked for numbers, says Luna. Like, if not 70 grams a day, what? And literally no one has them. It's what? That's super unhelpful. Because, like, again, one person's definition of what, like, a small amount of something is versus somebody else is going to be different. Thank you very much for the hydrate, Luna. I mean, if someone just told me to avoid, like, an ingredient or, like, a type of food, in order to, like, for like, healing reasons, I would just be like, okay, I can never eat that again. Like, just none of it, which may not be what they mean. So, that must have been very frustrating. I'm very sorry. But thank you for the hydrate. I enjoyed my sippet of tea. I'm going to mask off these little guys so we can do some backgroundy underpaints. Sorry or you're welcome for the masking fluid shaking bottle ASMR. Oof. Okay. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. Wizard. Anywho. Okay. So, these guys are very, like, spindly. So, masking fluiding. I'm just gonna have to masking fluid, like, her entire head. And I'm not sure what colors they'll end up being. I'll have to pull up references for what colors the mantis warriors are. I think these creatures are called mantis warriors, but don't quote me on that because I may be misremembering. She's got a very sticky out skirt at the back, not because she's wearing a bustle, but just because that's the way her abdomen is shaped. They were just like, not too much. But also, you need fat to regulate several bodily functions. So I was like, but what does that mean? That's so frustrating. It's just like, because I can understand, okay, this means I probably shouldn't have, like, a massive plate of chips from the pub. But how much is like, a tablespoon of olive oil? A teaspoon of olive oil? Like, a couple drops of olive oil, half a cup. I very much commiserate and understand your frustration, because I would, all chip diet, you say? Oh my god, I'd be so ill. I would be so ill. Oh, it sounds great, but I would die. Anyways, one moment, please. I very much get this kind of thing where if I eat too many chips, I start to get, or too many potatoes in general, I will start to get like a chest pain. So I try not to do that because that feels bad. But yeah, it's kind of like okay. So one of the things that I get to deal with, which is super fun, is heartburn. 0 out of 10 do not recommend. Heartburn is the worst. Um, it makes your life deeply unpleasant, and it leads to all kinds of other symptoms. Yay, we love that for us. Anyways, not to carry on about that too much. But it's another one of those situations where they're like, you know what helps? Exercise. Exercise is really good for helping keep that in check. But if you overexert yourself, it makes it worse. So it's like, okay, so I have to exercise, but don't get too much exercise. Likewise for stress, exercise really helps for like stress and depression and all that stuff, but don't do too much. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what the appropriate number is, and no one will say. Tell me exactly how much to do, and I will stick to exactly that. Samantha says, I would lose like 90% of my diet if I had to cut back on potato-based foods. That is the most British thing I've ever heard a person say in my entire life. And I love that, and I love you. Amazing. I don't understand how anyone made meals before the New World was discovered. Oh, man. Oh, man. I mean, I do love a potato situation. I really do. Anyways, Luna says, I actually managed to make myself ill as a teenager because all I was eating was relatively plain pasta. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, as a pasta enjoyer, I'm having pasta for dinner tonight. But yes. I can see that. Lino says, I once met a couple who told me they wouldn't consider a meal not based on potato, and it blew my mind. I mean, I understand, like, individuals who have, you know, very specific dietary needs or, like, safe foods or what have you. Like, sometimes I will go on, like, a kick of just wanting to eat, like, a thing for lunch every day. And then I will get over that thing and be like, I never want to look at it again for a while. Oops. But thankfully it's not too bad in terms of, like, I'm not, I don't think that's what's going on if it's two people. If it's like a couple, I feel like that's more of just the way that they prepare meals. But I can't, like, I really try and vary my sort of meal concepts throughout the week, otherwise I get bored. We're not big leftover people in this house. I just make 2 portions of soup or 2 portions of pasta or 2 portions of fried rice or whatever. We're having fried rice tomorrow. I'm excited. Pineapple fried rice, no less. Yay! So, like, yeah, it's very exciting. As for what people in Europe did before potatoes were brought here from, like, you know, South America, Linus is bread, and quite right too. A lot of bread was consumed, and still is. This is the land of bread. I say this as someone who having an inability to consume wheat stuffs really struggles sometimes trying to find lunches I can eat if we're out at, like, a cafe or whatever. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch you eat a sandwich, and I guess I'm having this gluten-free flapjack for lunch, which when you want something savory and maybe some vegetables is real flippin' unsatisfying. But also, I don't like, oh god, the number of times it's like, it's a salad and it's got falafels in it, but the falafels are cold, so they're mushy, so the texture is wrong. And, you know, when you've got just enough of the right flavor of autism, that is not an acceptable meal choice. Sandwich-based diet? Unthinkable, says Samantha. The sandwich reigns supreme in this ding-dang country. But yeah, Luna says, I mentioned that I lift weights to doctors, and I don't know, it's like they assume I'm about to start entering strongman contests and running marathons. I mean, that's silly. I mean, that's not silly if that's what you decided to do. But to leap to the assumption that just because you do, like, weight-based workouts that you must be, like, doing that professionally. Linus is, to be fair, people who mention that they lift weights do make it 100% of their personality. I do confess, I used to have a friend who I ended up having to unfollow on social media because they started like working out seriously, and every single day they made like 5 posts on social media with like, here's my healthy meal prep, here's some motivational memes, here's gym stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Also, I disagree with a lot of the motivational stuff that motivates people to like work out and do their best and yada 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 actually really demotivates and depresses me. So I'm like, I don't want to see that because that makes me feel bad when I'm not healthy enough to push myself to the limit. That's fine, and it's okay to rest. That usually doesn't get brought up. Anyways, Samantha says, I rarely eat bread these days because I just cannot get through a whole loaf. Fair enough. By myself before it is no longer edible, so it just seems a waste. I do sometimes I will buy bread gluten-free, and it's so good that I just end up eating way too much of it at once. Problem. Or it ends up in the freezer for like 3 months because I've forgotten about it. One of the two. Samantha says, sandwiches were made by Earls and therefore must be destroyed with the aristocracy. No, but some of them are yummy. Ever considered making your own bread, says Lino. I need to bake more. I did make last Tuesday, I did make moderator / spouse Twitch user Sludge Callio's birthday cake, and it turned out really nice. It was chocolate, and it was really rich and tender of crumb and chocolatey and delicious. Hell yeah. Anyways, but at some point there's a type of bread bun that I need to attempt to recreate for content purposes. By the way, got a new video coming out very, very soon. I'm like this close to being finished the edit, and I think I am slowing down on completing it because I'm nervous. Because I really want it to work well. And I'm scared. And I don't know how it's going to be received. So I'm taking my time a little bit more than I really ought to, but hopefully I'll have it done the next couple of days and have it up maybe on Thursday or Friday this week. If I can figure out how to make a thumbnail for it, we'll see. We shall see. I'm so scared. Please like and subscribe. I am scared. I'm so nervous. Here's my YouTube channel, by the way. In case you are not subscribed and you want to see me have a little ramble about history and other neat things, maybe learn something. It's a fun time. Yes. Samantha says, see, my problem with freezing bread is I generally treat making a toast / sandwiches as an impulse thing. Defrosting requires more pre-planning than I have for it. 'Tis fine, I'll remain a 90% potato diet. I mean, if you're happy with potatoes, that is absolutely fair. Sammy, to their werewolf audience, please like and subscribe. Yes, thank you. You get it. Either that or I often hear it also as like and subscribe, as in like the planty type thing likens. You know, lichens. You know what I mean, right? Like lichens. Hang on, like and subscribe. Subscribe for more lichens. Maybe I should make a video about lichens. Anyways, I am liking what's on those rocks, Stalls. Hell yeah. I mean, if lichens subscribe, if vampire comments, says Samantha, yes, 100%. I mean, ideally both. If werepire, if werepire, email my business inquiries address because I want to be friends. Anyways, we saw a lovely oak tree this weekend, says Luna. Ooh, covered in moss and lichen. It was beautiful. Oh, that's so lovely. I love that for you. I love that kind of thing. That is so nice. That is so nice. How wonderful. All right. I am picking up, what is this? This is mint. We're using mint and peach, I think, for our backgroundy hues for this painting. So I'm gonna try not to hit my paintbrush on the mic too many times, but I apologize if at any point I do. I am gonna try to not do that. Anyways, it's important to specifically invite them to do so, says Luna. Oh my goodness, yep, because vampires are listen, it's not like vampires can't come in if they're not invited. They're just very polite. And you know what? I respect the hell out of that, frankly. I love that. There was, I think there was like an episode or some such of What We Do in the Shadows where they were at like their neighbor's house or something, and they knock on the door, and the one vampire's human familiar is with them, and the vampire's like, you could just go in, and he's like, well, no, it's not polite, I'm gonna wait until they invite us in. I'm like, yes, you get it. Anyways, maybe I gave the tree a hug, says Luna. Who can say? Who can say? I mean, perhaps the tree can, but I'm sure they will not. That's really sweet. I love that for you. That's so lovely. That is so lovely. Okay. I am going to just create a sort of cloud-like bloom of this beautiful minty, sort of tealy turquoise deal in and around the center of this piece. And then it's going to kind of fade into our like peachy color at the edges. You'll see, you'll get it, I hope. Hopefully it'll make some measure of sense by the time we're through. We shall see. And a lot of this is going to get covered up anyways with our blue like shadow color, but it's important to have this underpainting in the first place, because I really do think it makes a big difference to the overall experience of the piece. Anyways, that's something that I haven't done a lot of painting of, is like mosses and lichens. I think they're so stinking cool. I also think they're really hard. Having attempted to do so, they're really hard for me, at least, and this may be a skill issue, to capture in like watercolor. Anything that's like kind of a mass but does have a lot of super tiny detail. I was just talking about this with moderator slash spouse Twitch user Sludge Callia earlier, actually, that I'm always a little uncertain how to approach like situations where I have something that has a lot of like tiny detail. Like I was talking about, we saw some wisterias, and I was talking about how I did this painting some years ago of like a wisteria garden, and I spent so long working on it, and by the time it was done I was like, I hate this. I don't think it did, like, it turned out bad. Like, it was just bad. And I was like, okay, now what do I do with this? Because it turned out bad. It does not look good. Oh no. And I think it's because there was a lot of like really sort of teeny tiny flowers that I was trying to paint all of them in, and it turns out that trying to paint in all of those teeny tiny flowers ended up just looking really like visually busy and messy, and there wasn't really a good way to resolve it. So clearly the solution is to try and enact like somewhat more of an economy of detail, but that's really hard. That's hard to figure out exactly at what point is enough detail, enough futzing, enough whatever, and to know when you need to use a bit of restraint and when you need to kind of go for it. It's tough. It's hard. I'm just blending this out a smidge so we don't have like a hard line between the two. This is largely going to get covered up anyways, but I just want it to look a little bit more blendy. Anyways. Right. I do like nature, it's so pretty, says Luna. I wholeheartedly agree. I think it's delightful. It's a good time and a good place. Man, I should not have let this like turquoisey stuff dry quite as much as I did, because it's not blending quite as cleanly as I would like. I'm just gonna have to kind of just pull it all the way in, I think. Just pull it all the way in. And that's okay. Otherwise we're gonna end up with some funky little water lines, and I would rather we didn't have that. But I think we're fixing it. Okay, cool. Cool. Anyways, Mash, hello! Mash says, did you know Sammy is an impressive artist? If you did not know, now you do. Mash, that's far too kind. Hello, how are you? It's wonderful to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a lovely Monday. I'm just blending out this weird gradient we've got going here. This is so different to how the finished piece is going to look in terms of like tone and stuff. Trust the process. Yay. Anyways. Anyways, thank you very much. Yeah, let me catch it with chat. Samantha says, vampire invited into Fey Realm. Oh, good for them. Decides to have a drink. Oh heck, vampire believes the Fey is now in their thrall, as they have fed on their blood. Fey believes the vampire is now bound to them, as they have eaten of the Fey Realm food. They go to an arbiter to decide whose claim is valid. Arbiter congratulates them on their marriage. Oh my god, please write this book. I want to read it. Please, like I would make a fan fiction of this. Can I make a fan fiction of this, of like your fandom of like a Twitch comment? Because that's delightful. I love it. Anyways. Eddie, thank you so much for all of the redeemsies. Thank you very much for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely lurk. Thank you for the hydration reminder. Let me take a big old sip of my tea, and then I will indeed do a big stretch as well. And I invite everyone else to indulge in some self-care at the same time. Anyways. Big sippy of my mint tea. In fact, I'm going to have 2 sips just for fun. Because I'm a thirsty little bear. Anyways, time for a stretch. Hello, SB. Welcome in. How are you? I hope you're having a lovely, lovely Monday. Ow! Oh, my back. Oh, hello. Feel free to steal this for a fan fiction, says Samantha. I would love to see it. Oh, I would love to see it. That is such a weird... That is such an interesting take on, like, the whoops, we're accidentally married trope or something. I love it. It's amazing. Anyways, this needs to dry for a while now, so I'm going to set these 2 to one side and come back to today's piece, which I think we can hopefully work on / finish. Yay! Anyways. Sammy is in the midst of committing a crime. No! Making criminally beautiful art. Arrest her. Okay. Thank you, Mesh. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. Lina says, I've made myself a big old mug of Lapsang Souchong. It's delicious. Love that for you. Very cozy flavor, the Lapsang. If you've never had it, It is a smoked black tea, so it has this, like, smoky intensity to it. And it's very, very cozy. For sure, for sure. SB just got back from the dentist. Hopefully my week only goes up from here. Hey, congrats on your teeth. Oh no, Mesh says, wee woo, this one, officer, the one with the tea, no! I am genuinely paranoid that someone is going to be listening to this from, like, a government agency, take it seriously, be like, oh no, this person needs to be deported. I am genuinely just a quiet, kind person trying to live their life as nicely as possible. And I do not want to be forcibly removed from my country of residence. And I genuinely get scared about that. Anyway, smoked tea, says SB. Yes. It is very fun and cool. Okay. So, I need to clean all of the, like, tealy, turquoisey... What's the difference between teal and turquoise? Help me out here. Because I don't actually know. I tend to kind of use the two somewhat interchangeable, and I don't think that's correct. It's a Chinese black tea smoked with pine wood. I did not know that there was a specific wood that it was smoked with, so that's good to know. Thank you, Lino. It's okay, Sis Mesh. I will take you, and you and your moderator/spouse. Well, that's very, very kind. I'll bring home cooked cakes. Teal is easier to spell. Teal feels like a deeper color in my mind, says Luna. I thought so too. But then, according to this pastel shades paint pan set, that's turquoise. And this, and not this. Because this just feels like a somewhat green or blue to me. I think the color naming is just screwy, because that's also called coral pink, and it's orange. That's like, this is mango. So if I were just naming these, I'd be like lemon, mango, peach. Right? Pink flamingo, that's fine, we can keep that. Orchid pink, also fine, we can keep that. Lavender, yep, fine. Okay, cornflower, yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you here. What's this? I would call this, like, you know, like maybe like a nice oceanic blue, turquoise, moss green, taupe, and silver gray. However, lemon, peach, coral pink, pink flamingo, orchid pink, lavender, cornflower blue, turquoise, mint, artichoke, storm gray, and silver blue. Genuinely, it makes me wonder if the person in charge of naming the colors has a form of color blindness I'm not familiar with. Because some people do, and that's fine. You know? Like, that's okay. In fact, some of my favorite artists on the internet are also colorblind, which is rad. I know one of them does color and artworks by having just memorized the placement of all of the colors on the color wheel. And the other one has a wife who will just be like, okay, this is a good color, and she'll be like, that's red. He's like, thank you. Which is also just, it's lovely seeing how they help each other with those things. It's very cool. Anyways, but yeah, cornflower blue, yum, delicious. Anyways, cornflower blue is a lovely color, I will say. Turquoise is to teal what pink is to red, says Lino. Thank you. Teal is also a duck name. Yes. Yes, indeed. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm sorry. Anyways. I can see where they've got mint, but that's not what I'd have gone for. Yeah, I agree. I can also see where they've got mint, but I also tend to think of mint as being a lighter, less blue green. Like, lighter than this, and not quite as blue as this, is what I would call mint. I don't know. I just think they're a little confused. Anyways, but yeah, SB, I hope that your teeth are doing well after your ordeal. And I'm going to find... Where did I put the picture of this bad boy, so I can attempt to color them in with some more of this shadow purple. I like these paintings where I'm basically just using like two colors. It keeps things nice and relatively simple, which I enjoy. Actually, I think I should probably have slightly more. I'm going to make it a little bit darker than it is in canon, I guess. Just because I want it to stand out a little bit better from the background and not be... I don't want this to be like a super one-note piece, basically. So, I'm going to make it a little darker. But we're gonna try and do something a little bit weird towards the end, which I will show you. Well, you'll watch me do it, so you'll see. But this is a statue, so it wants to all be, you know, statue colored. This is the like dreamland of the game, which is quite cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by laying down our base gray over pretty much the whole doodad. Make our big old bunny ears here. And our big moth eyes. Because this is Moth Bunny. That's their name. It is not. But, like, it could be. Look at them. Okay. So I've got some weird patchy coloring in happening here for our Moth Bunny statue. Yada, yada, yada. Looks kind of neat. When you're doing a painting today, limiting color is sensible, says Lino. That's absolutely. That's why when I do, like, stream ink and those sort of October ink-based art challenges, I will do, like, a, just, like, pick a single color for each day. And I'm not quite doing that here, because I've having tried that with Hollow Knight art, I feel like it doesn't work quite as well. Anyways, I'm literally just taking a brush with some water, and I'm just lifting the areas where I want a bit of highlight. Which looks a little bit weird, but you know, we'll deal with it. And I think once the line weight's gone in, it'll look different anyways. So I'm not too super concerned. Maybe I'll just grab a piece of tissue. I like how the shade is layering and building too, says Luna. Inktober incoming? Not for quite a while. Not for quite a while, but I will be, assuming that my beloved stream team is hosting the prompt list again this year, and I see no reason why we would not be. As far as I know, it is happening. It will be happening again. Stream Inc. will be happening in October, and I am very much looking forward to it. It's a good time. It's always a good list. A wonderful community of people, not just hosting the various prompt days, but also contributing artworks and using the prompts to create stuff, and it's just a great time. Okay. All right. This is looking quite cool, actually. I'm liking how this is amending the piece. This isn't something that I use quite a lot in watercolor, but there are some paints that are quite low staining, so if you wet them shortly after they've been put down, you can lift paint back up, which you can use for interesting effects, or you can also use to, if you have put paint somewhere you didn't mean to, you can kind of get rid of it, which can also be very useful. So, you know, all good things. All good things for sure. I am adding a little bit more paint here and there, because I would like this portion to be darker than it was, like so. And I think I also want to add a little bit of shadow sort of under this segment here. There we go. Okay. I hope this looks cool. I really hope that this looks cool. Does it look cool? I don't know, but I hope it looks cool. Inktober doesn't start until like August, says Samantha. Yeah, that's exactly how months work. We do have World Watercolor Month first. World Watercolor Month? Oh god, I don't need another month. Technically, there's another month-long challenge happening this month as well as this one, which is the Doodle Away May prompt list from streaming. Let me find it. Hold up. Let me find it for y'all. Let me find it. No, I don't want it to, no, okay. Let me find you the May Doodle prompt list. In case you're not into, Hollow Knight, but you want to do something this month. You've got some time to work on this one still. I mean, you've got time to do whatever you feel like, but, okay, here's the prompt list. It's like weekly as opposed to one per day, which is nice. And I am going to try and do these as well, because I am part of the stream team, and I think it's a nice, very sweet prompt list as well. I've already got kind of an idea for Foggy and Ship. I think that's a really fun one. Windy and Laundry is the first one. That is until the 10th, and then Stormy and Pale. So try and find a fun way to combine these words into it is Doodle Away May is the name of it. So not really expecting like, fully rendered, completed artwork. You can just do like a sketch or a doodle and make it as loose as you want, and that it's meant to be very low stress, low pressure. Just do a little something. So I'm gonna try and do a little something. World of Watercolor is one heck of an odd MMO. Oh, Samantha, that sounds like an MMO I might actually play. Tal says that looks fun. Let me drop a link. If you want to check out like Save the List or find the hashtag for it or whatever, you can do that because it's a fun time. Anyways, I'm gonna peel them. Actually, no, I'm not gonna yet because I need to paint in the floor. So first I'm gonna paint the floor, I think, and then I'm going to take the masking fluid off of this little guy. And I think I've got loads of time. Okay, fine. I was worrying that I didn't have quite enough time before our next BRB, but actually I've got lots, so it is absolutely fine and all good. Right, now. Okay, this is a floor that's got a bit of a texture to it, which is nice. Nice textureful floor, but I do want it to be quite dark because in game it is quite dark. And I'm trying to do some pieces for this month that don't just feel like a screen cap of the game. And I think I talked about this on the last stream as well. I kind of struggle with visualizing, because it's a 2D game environment, and it's the only environment for this world that I know. I find it really difficult to visualize different angles of these environments. Like, to try and think, if I was the knight here, if I was the little guy, if I was seeing what they are seeing, what would I see? And I'm really bad at visualizing that. I'm like, I can't pull into my mind's eye the POV of this little guy. I can't visualize what they're seeing because I've only ever seen this environment from this one angle. And so trying to imagine, like, what it looks like from different angles is just really freaking difficult for me. And I don't know why. I can't do it. So I keep making, all they see is void, says Samantha. Oh no. But yeah, it actually makes it really, really difficult for me to try and, like, do artworks that aren't sort of at this, very specific, you know, sort of angle of viewing of the game environment, because I can't visualize it. Like, I am unable to do so. Is that skill issue? Is that to do with, like, just my visual memory being weird? I don't know. I just can't do it. Anyways, there's some weird sort of, like, glowy features, sort of floating in the air in this area. So I'm trying to draw them in, and they're very confusing to my brain. So if they look really weird and bad, I apologize. But hopefully you get the idea. And if I get real quiet, also apologies. And if they're kind of soft and not super visible, that's okay too. Trying to keep it relatively subtle, I guess. Also, I am freehanding circles because I am incredibly brave. That one didn't really show up at all. Oh no. And I feel like that was the best circle I've done, and you couldn't see it at all. Great. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit more visible. I don't want to put too much water and have it, like, smudge all over the place either. So, but I think what I need to do is kind of place a little bit of pressure in the hopes that will help the paint to lift as I go. And again, it doesn't need to be quite as visible as it is in game. As long as there's kind of something there to say that something is there. I feel dream circles. Yeah, you know, like dream circles. Like that exists. Oh man, I feel like I had a weird dream again last night. Do I remember it? No. Do I remember it at all? I do not. Nope. Shoot. What was it? Oh no, it's completely fled my mind now, and it was peculiar. I've been having peculiar dreams, really, for the last few days. And now I can't remember at all. I had a streaming related dream a few nights ago. I was hoping I would remember it so that I could tell y'all about the streaming related dream I had a few nights ago, because that was whack. So I dreamt that I'd been live streaming, but it wasn't in this room, in this studio. Like, I wasn't streaming from my house. I don't know where I was streaming from. Whether it was like an office or like a studio, I don't know. Anyways, but then I was somewhere else. I was doing something else. Like, I had moved on. I was working on other things. Like, the stream had ended. I had left. And I was like, oh shoot, did I raid anyone? And then I was like, wait a second, did I end the stream? I was worried that I forgot to click, like, end stream when I finished streaming. But instead of, like, instead of like, oh geez, the like thanks for watching screen is still up, it was just my desk is just empty and there's no one here and there's no sound and nothing is happening. And it had been and it was like, this was like a few hours after I finished streaming and left that place, and the stream was still going. I just completely forgotten to end the stream or shut down the computer or do anything. It's just still running and I have no way of getting back there to turn it off. And I'm just streaming an empty desk with no one there. And stream was popping off. There were more people in my chat than there ever are. It's like there is this community of people in my dream who just find the streams of people who have forgotten to like end their stream, and will just go into the chats of people who forgot to end their stream and just like hang out and chat in there, and that's like their idea of a fun time, and they'll like start hype trains and do all kinds of stuff, and like, you know. And I was like, I'm doing so much more, not like, this is a way more popular stream than when I'm actually live. I don't know how to feel about this. And I just went into the chat and typed in like, oh no, I forgot to end the stream. And they were all like, it's okay, we're having a great time. I'm just like, there were just like 500 people there watching an empty desk and just hanging out with each other. It was so funny. I don't know if this is something that actually exists in real life, but yeah, empty desk stream, new meta, says Taltz. Genuinely, it was so weird. It was so weird. I'm not gonna do an empty desk stream because I feel like if I actually did do an empty desk stream in real life, exactly what would happen is that like 0 to 1 people would watch. One person would come in, be like, did you mean to end the stream? And then might wait politely for me to notice and end the stream. I don't know. Anyways, I need to mute again. One moment, please. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. Cause yeah, I have done it before where like I have legit forgotten to hit end stream after like raiding out for like several minutes. So technically the stream is now broadcasting to no users because like everyone is, you know, was like raided into someone else's channel. And I'm like, oh, I didn't close OBS. Shoot, heck. And then I correct it. But that's fairly rare. I remember I had a friend who was streaming once who was ending the stream, and I think they didn't want to raid out that day because they were just it was, maybe they didn't have anyone online who was like not just about to finish or whatever, but in any case they weren't raiding out, they were just ending the stream. And they ended the stream except they didn't press end stream, and I didn't notice for a period of time because I might have been AFK or like in the kitchen, or they were just on like, you know, I just had the tab open but I wasn't super actively watching, and then I come back and they're just sitting there at their desk like typing and looking at things, and I'm like, are they still streaming? Because there isn't a game up and they're not saying anything. I think you know what I think happened? I think what happened is that they did raid out, but for some reason I like got lost in the raid, so I didn't get taken along with the raid, so I was still on their channel, and they had not pressed end stream. Because there wasn't anybody else there to be like, hey, you need to end the stream. So I come back and I'm like, should I say something? And then I was like, the stream is still live, by the way. And several minutes later, because they probably had like minimized the window by that point and were looking at something else. And then eventually I just see them look over, do a little double take. Oh shit! And then they ended the stream. They felt so bad. But like, it does happen. It does happen sometimes that people forget to end stream. As I say, it has happened to me. And so it goes. But, yes. I had a tissue that I was using to blot my, and I keep misplacing it because I'm a ding dong. Anyways, we are about to have a little break, which will be a perfect opportunity to, like, have a drink, have a stretch, take your meds if you need to, hydrate yourself, do all that jazz. Go pee if you gotta. I do. But yeah. So always when you're streaming, always make sure to hit end stream once you've raided out and you know that the raid is good. Because sometimes it don't. Anyways, so yeah, that was an experience. Okay. Can I get a couple more, like, littler circles in here and there? Maybe just some little circle-y circles. Like just little dots. Just little lifty dots. Okay. I think I don't want to add too many more of these, because I don't want to, like, fully cover the landscape in them, but maybe if we just have one kind of poking in from over here in the 15 seconds we have before I have to go on BRB. There we go. Okay. Alright. I'm going to go sideways for this, and we're going to go really fast, because it's about to catapult us into the BRB screen. So, I will be back very shortly. You will not miss anything. You're just going to see the BRB screen. So I will see you on the other side of this. I will BRB, and I hope you have a nice BRB. Hello again, I'm back. Hello, hello. Thank you for sticking around through the ad break. I really appreciate it. It is certainly not for my, just for clarity, I do mention this every once in a while, it is certainly not for my financial gain by any stretch. I get pennies from the ad program. But having ads run on stream means that new people coming in do not get pre-rolls. And pre-rolls make people leave before they've visited the stream. And that does me a sadness. So it's also an excuse for me to actually be forced to be absent for a minute, and if I'm forced to be absent for a minute, you know what that means? It means I don't hold my pee for 3 hours while I'm streaming, which is really bad for my well-being, it turns out. Hello, Sen, welcome in! It's for Jeff Bezos' financial gains, unsurprisingly. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think Twitch as a platform doesn't actually make that much money, I believe. So, like, I can't begrudge the running of the ads, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, because I am allowed to use this service without having to pay for it. And you all are able to watch this service without Thank you.
Oh hell yeah, Sanetian just subscribed.
Thank you so much, Samantha, for gifting a sub to Sen. I'm so sorry that TTS Nicole pronounced it as Senetian. Anyways, hello, Sen. How are you? It's lovely to see you, and enjoy the gift sub and your silly emotes and stuff. Ha! Take that, ads, says Samantha. Thank you so much. I shouldn't begrudge the ads either, says Lino, but I do anyways. I mean, I begrudge ads in general, like, a lot of the time, but, then sometimes I advertise. Hi, if you're here because you like Hollow Knight and stuff, I have limited edition Blue Raspberry Fight Milk Hollow Knight art prints available in my shop, among other things, which you can find here at this link that I have just put in the chat, which is ko-fi.com/SammyKelsh/shop. Contains my stuff. Or you can just go to, like, my username.com and there's a link to the shop there as well. It's like, it's whatever. Just do whatever you want. Anyways, but yeah. So apologies for shoehorning in an ad there while complaining about ads. That I feel bad about myself every time. Every time I self-promote, I feel guilty. And it's a horrible way to feel. But also, I would like to be able to keep the lights on and continue to be able to, like, own art supplies. So unfortunately, I gotta do it sometimes. Anyways, but yeah, I definitely begrudge some ads more than others. Like, oh, that one Amazon ad that I'm getting continuously at the moment. Okay, so imagine that this is the Amazon delivery box that the man is holding, right? He looks like he's going to go like this and open the box, except he doesn't. He doesn't go like this and open the box. He goes like this and just mimes like he's opening the box, but he's not actually opening the box. And it's very clear and obvious that that's what he's doing. It's a bad ad. And they play it like every 5 minutes. And you know what? I already don't shop there, but I'm shopping there even less because that ad is a nightmare. Anyways. Hello. Lego Sen set. Oh yeah, Sen. Did you see? Did you see we built it? We built this Lego set. Here she is. Here's your girl Celeste. She's got her little star charts in her little bookie wook. That little telescope and the moon and a tea set. Some wilderness. It's a good time. We have basically connected it up to Maple's pumpkin patch here. Partially because I don't know where else to put these. So they live here right now. Oh no. She's how was she hold on, let me put okay, she is safely back on the platform. Good, delightful. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Should I do an actual owl version of Celeste at some point? Yes, I want to. Yeah, Sen, you should do that. That would be amazing. Celeste is wonderful. And her brother Blathers. Why does Celeste love the stars so much? She can't fly! My heart breaks for her! Why would you say something like that? Now I'm sad! Oh no! Oh heck. Okay, you know what would make me feel better? I don't know about y'all, but what would make me feel better, obviously, is the peeling of the masking fluid. Oh, it feels so good! It feels so good to peel the masking fluid! Hooray! That did feel very good, actually. Anyway, but yes, we're gonna paint in this guy. We're gonna do line weight on this guy. We're gonna do all the things. We're gonna hopefully finish this today because, well, I need to have finished it for today. So, I would like to do that. All right. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this purpley gray color, and we're gonna color in this little guy's cloak with this purpley gray color. There we go. Also, it's worth noting that they are in fact waving hello because I thought it would be cute. Of course. Why do I do anything on this stream? Because I think it'd be cute usually. Anyways. And I hope you like it too. I should have used a smaller brush for that, but it's fine. Okay. And I'm going to need the smaller brush for the rest of what we're doing with this painting. So, I dip in my brush. I get it nice and very saturated. And I do want it to be very saturated because I want this to be as close to black as I can get using this purplish black color. Now. Because I'm going to start doing some line weights. Oh geez, okay. It needs to be wet enough that it will paint. But also not so wet that it waters the color down too much. Anyways, when I first was told that there was a Celeste Lego set, I thought that the person was talking about the video game, not the video game character Celeste, but the video game Celeste, aka you're platforming your way up a very treacherous mountain, and there's like there's strawberries and stuff and a lot of feelings, and it's cute and the music is good and it's super fun. I love Celeste. It's such a good game. Anyways, I really want to stream the DLC on like Friday morning streams, but I have to finish the base game first. And it turns out I can't do too much Celeste all at once, or it starts to really hurt my wrists. So it's been taking me quite a while. Also, half the time it does not want to run on this computer. Yay! Anyways. One moment, please. Sorry about that. Lino says, that's what I linked it to as well, but I guess that's a lot more niche. Yeah, definitely. Much more so than, like, major international phenomenon Animal Crossing. But just as good, for sure, for sure. And I would, if they did make a Lego set of it, I would love to see that. I feel like that's something that would go through Lego Ideas and then maybe not get made because it's too niche. Though they do sometimes make some fairly niche stuff, so, you know, don't rule it out. Or maybe the niche stuff that they make is just niche to me, because there's just a lot out there in the sort of cultural milieu that I'm just not familiar with. Who knows? Who can say? Anyways. Doot. Sparkly. Sparkly little eyes. Ooh. Now I cannot find the Celeste lore again, but I remember being sad when I first read it, says Sen. I was not aware of this. I was not aware of this at all. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but yeah, that's very sad. But, you know, she seems like a pretty cheerful... She seems like a pretty cheerful lady, so clearly she's not let it get her down. She seems like she's having a pretty good time, all things considered. And I love that for her. So, you know, it's okay. Alright, we have a heed. It has a heed. Hooray! How did I do these bits of it? Like this, kind of. Some of it is kind of blending in enough that it's not super easy for me to see where my pencil marks were. So I'm having to kind of guess, which is fun. Fun. I would love to do a full owl suit costume of her one day, says Sen. Yes! Hell yeah! That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. I would like to see that. My next project is a simple semi-18th century style petticoat. I say semi-18th century style because I am a lazy so-and-so, and this is not being made for, like, reenactment or historical purposes. This is being made for me just wearing every day. And as a lazy so-and-so, I love an elastic waistband, and they did not have elastic waistbands in the 18th century. But I would like an elastic waistband, because it means I can sit funny and have it not, like, you know, be uncomfortable. And I would love that for me, so, you know. Samantha says with regard to Sen's owl cosplay, so you're just gonna lower the glamour you use to pass as human. You know, I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't know if I should say it. Anyways. Sen is the owl friend of the stream. I don't think I'm known for, like, a specific creature these days. I feel like in temperament and personality, I'm some kind of extremely anxious bear, but I don't know. Anyways, hello, Aoife, welcome in. How are you doing? It's wonderful to see you. Welcome in. I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm having a nice day. We are painting some Hollow Knight art, as you can probably tell. I don't know why I said that, because it's pretty obvious. Anyways, I'm trying to find my little reference picture here, so I can, hopefully, no, hello? So I can maybe zoom in on the detail on this statue a little bit. Anyways, I still remember when you talked about Kate Bush and Heathcliff, it's me, a manatee. That I am fairly sure is a clip somewhere on this channel. In case anyone's wondering what Sen is talking about, navigate on over to the Clips tab, and hopefully you'll find it there. Eva says, I love this painting already, even though it lacks books. You know, okay, you jest, I assume, but I just want you to know, I'm not going to spoiler which one it is, but for an upcoming painting in Hollow Knight Art Month, there will be books. There will be books. I'm just saying that there is a character in this game who has the epithet the teacher, and I was like, ah, geez, I can't not have books in a painting of the teacher, so she's getting booked. I couldn't get through a whole month and not paint some books, damn it. You know me, as there should be, says Aoife. Yeah, I am nothing if not predictable. Guess I have a brand. And I'm okay with that. Really and truly I am. Okay, there's some little, like, cracks and fissures going through this. So I'm going to try and hold this. I want them to feel fairly, like, naturalistic. So it's kind of holding that quite, holding the brush very loosely. Kind of just letting it fall where it will. And hoping that that looks okay as far as a slightly cracked statue. Is that the Quirrell prompt or the Dreamer prompt? It's for Dreamer. The Quirrell prompt is gonna be cute. Linus says, how many times must we teach you this lesson, old man? Oh no. Aoife says, so today I entered a chat, and I hope you believe me when I say I had no malicious intent. I of course I do. You're a lovely, lovely bunny. I absolutely believe you. Of course I do. Anyways, there's some little bits of detail. They were playing Undertale. Ooh, Undertale. And fighting a monster named Gooftrot. Gooftrot. I don't know. It's Gyftrot. Not something I remember from the game, but alrighty then. There's a lot that I don't remember from the game, but also probably a lot that I just didn't experience in the game, because I rage quit at some point. The Quirrell prompt is gonna be cute. Samantha has quoted. Sammy, that's all you please. No, Samantha! You're gonna make me blush! What are you doing? Alright, there's just some little, like, detail-y type lines. So I'm just gonna... I don't want them to be super dark, but I do want to just kind of add them in, so... Again, we are somewhat economizing on detail here, because I can. Anyways, except the fluke prompt which will of necessity be horny, says Samantha. Okay, I am struggling with the fluke prompt. I have a sketch for the fluke prompt, and it distresses me. I do not like it. I do not like it. Sen says, I'm currently playing Eternal Strands and new cosplay goals. Aw, jeez. I should not be allowed to consume new media, says Sen. You know, just add them to your to-do list. That's alright. Aoife says, so I said, I wonder how Gooftrot pronounces GIF. All hell broke loose in chat, and I actually had to leave. I felt so bad. I don't think that's a perfectly innocuous question. I think that's fine. If people want to start discourse about is it pronounced GIF, then I mean, the obvious answer to is it pronounced GIF is, yeah, it's pronounced GIF. It's pronounced GIF. Gift is pronounced gift. Like, Tom Scott has done a video about this. I suggest you watch it if you are at all worried about the discourse of GIF. It's GIF. Anyways. Anywho. Do you pronounce it GIF or incorrectly, says Samantha. My to-do list is already long enough, says Sen. That is a mood. That is a mood. I'm trying to whittle it down a little bit at the moment. which is why I'm planning to do a nice, speedy little, petticoat skirt situation. Also, I just need a new skirt, and it would be really helpful to have one that's like brown. This is a very, very dark, like almost but not quite black brown, which I think also a very pretty and useful color to have as a skirt, because it'll go with a lot of things. And also, you know, it cute. Okay, so they're waving hello. They're waving hello to the moth bunny statue, as you do. And I think that's very cute of them. Hopefully this will be cute. I hope. Who can say? At this point, I don't know. But I'm trying my best. It is really, I do find one of the challenging things really about doing these like month-long art prompt list is that I don't want to compromise like on doing artwork that I feel like I can be proud of, but also I've got to work fairly quickly, and I'm not always the best, as you know, with the amount of time it took me to finish the last thing that we painted before Hollow Knight Art Month. Sometimes I'm not the fastest painter. Hold up. This took us like what, a month? This took us like a month. And I think it's pretty cute. Is it my best ever piece? No. I just wanted to put some Blorbos into a soft situation. And it still took like a month. But, you know, we got there. But so having to do something like every single day is a very different vibe to that. And yeah, anyways, my throat hurts now, so I'm gonna take a sippy. The Discourse of GIF sounds like a 70s sci-fi book, says Lino. Oh my god, you're right, it does. It does. Aoife says I pronounce it GIF, but only because I'm German, and I'm also solidly on the side of soft G. Most acronyms have their single letters. Graphics has a hard G and should also be GIF. Aoife says most acronyms have their single letters not pronounced like they are in their component words. I can't speak for German, but auf English, it should be GIF. Just, you know, again, gift, GIF. Gift, GIF. It tracks. Anyways, as with any word, says Tals, however people agree to pronounce it how it should be pronounced. If people can't all agree, then both choices are correct. I did once get into a massive argument with someone about scone versus scone. I was like, I say scone. They said scone. I said, okay, let's ask that, because my argument was not scone is the correct pronunciation. My argument was, you can say scone or scone, either is fine. Like, it doesn't matter. It just depends on, like, you know, your dialect. It does not matter. And they were like, no, you're wrong, it's scone. And I was like, let's see what the dictionary says. The dictionary says scone or scone. So, and they did not like this. I was like, at this point, the argument should end, because, like, either is fine. But no. I don't know. At that point, they just threw a hissy fit, I think, because they were mad that I was never going to capitulate to whatever their argument was. Anyways. Stupid. Ultimately, as long as we exist in a realm of mutual intelligibility, like, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not that deep. Anyways, so here they are. This piece is done. I'm calling it. I don't want to do any more. Actually, no, I take that back. I've seen something I want to do, damn it. I want to do two things. There was a tiny amount of light reflecting onto, like, the top of the ground here. So I'm gonna lift just a little bit and get some little, like, highlights in spots. Following on from that. I know, I was like, okay, I'm done. We're gonna finish this piece. And then I'm like, actually, this is gonna bother me if I don't do it. Also, is there any other set dressing that I want to add to this? I mean, I do want to complete a little bit more of the next one. So I don't have to do quite as much tomorrow or Wednesday, because I really don't have a lot of time on Wednesdays to do it. Southerners trying to enforce Southern pronunciations on Northern pronunciation has some fucking history too. So they should back off a bit. Welp. Indeed. As someone who's from South Canada but also moved to the north of England before moving south. Fair. I mean, I was recently in the city of Bath, and I don't know if technically it's meant to be Bath, based on, I don't know, how do they say, okay, how do they pronounce Bath in Somerset? Do they say Bath like I do, Bath? Or sort of Bath? Or do they say Bath like some parts of the country would? Any summer sessions want to weigh in on that? I would love to know. That being said, I will continue saying it as Bath because it sounds weird as hell saying Bath in my accent. Thank you. Tal says, good art. Thank you, Tals. I tried my best. I really did. I appreciate that. Now let's ruin it with this one. I keyed. But what I am going to do with this one is I am dipping my tissue, and I'm just going to get rid of what's left of this paint from the palette, because I don't want to use it by mistake, because we're using a different color as the sort of shadowy hue for this piece. Anyways, speaking of Southerners, a different flavor of Southerner, the Southern American. Once again, I am not from America, as you can tell by my accent. Anywho, I saw a video recently of a woman speaking Japanese but with a Southern American accent, and it was weird. It was really weird. I cannot recreate it because, well, I don't speak very much Japanese, and I am not from the American South. Once again, as you can tell by my accent, I live in England. But I just found that, pretty wild. Anyways, gonna bring back my little reference picture colors, my color situation to tell me what colors I need to use for the Mantis Village, which is a whole other kettle of gubbins to what we've been doing. But hopefully we'll also look, like, cool and stuff, I hope. I can only hope. Like, literally all I can do is hope at this point. But actually, I'm kind of looking at this and wondering if I should... No, I'm done futzing. No more futzing. The futz is over. No more shall we futz. No futzage. Absolutely no futzing. Okay. If I decide to bring that back and start futzing with it at any time in the next couple of minutes, and we probably aren't going to be going on too much longer, but if I brought that back and started futzing with it at any point in the next couple of minutes, I would fully appreciate everyone just writing futz hypocrisy in big letters in the chat. Maybe some futzing is a treat. No futzing. I'm not going to futz. We shall not futz on this day. It shall not be futzed with. No. I'm done. No futzing. Very important that I do not futz. Because why? Because we'll be here all night. If I start, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop. And again, I do. I have to cook dinner after this. No more futzing, says Tals, unless... No futzing. We shall not futz. No. No. Anyways, I cannot futz, but I like big butts. There we go. I like big butts and I cannot futz. I should not be allowed to speak live before a human audience on the internet because things happen like me saying I like big butts and I cannot futz. One of those things is true. I like big butts and I cannot lie. My brother here likes big butts and cannot tell the truth. Can you solve our riddle? Anyways, I think I'm gonna have to not go on too much longer because I think I'm losing my marbles a little bit at this point. But I'm gonna start adding some background stuff. Starting to add some backgroundy elements. La la la. Do. These should be fairly faint and not too not too obtrusive. Maybe let's take a little bit of paint out here and there. Anyways, is anyone still here? I don't know. Well, given the riddle usually requires us to not know who lies and who tells the truth, probably. But was that wizard who likes big butts telling the truth about the fact that they cannot lie, or were they lying? Oh, who knows? Who can say? Not I. Oh, hoo. I would apologize for the silliness, but, like, if y'all ain't here for the silliness at this point, I question whether or not you know what stream you're in. And, you know, if you're new here, welcome. Willkommen. Bienvenue. Welcome. And, I'm so sorry. Samantha says, I like the XKCD version where one guard always lies, one always truths, and the third one stabs people who ask complicated questions. You know, valid. I respect that. Do I like it? No. But do I respect it? Sure. By which I mean I don't like being stabbed. That's the difference. Anyways, just trying to establish some weird... There's some weird backgroundy stuff happening in the Mantis Village. I can speak. I swear I can. So I'm trying to just get some of that going kind of in the background here and hoping that it's not too obtrusive. Tra-la-la-la. Okay, this is going fine, I think. We've got a lot of little kind of background bobbly things happening here, so I'm trying to add in some bobbles. And going back and forth from side to side so I can let parts of it dry before sort of semi-overlapping stuff. Because I think that will fare better in the long run for how it ends up looking. Anyways, what's everybody up to this week? Do you have any exciting plans going forward? I hope that if you do, that they all go well. I am... Gosh, do I have any plans this week? Maybe. Do I remember? No. I think I'm streaming again Thursday. We have another prompt, which is... what is the prompt for Thursday? I can tell you. It's... Oh, the Thursday prompt is Silk Song. I'm not going to show you that one yet because I want it to be a fun surprise. Because I think that one's going to turn out real stinking cute. Oh, I just blobbed some paint on where I hadn't intended to, but that's okay. It don't matter. I'm just gonna leave that there because whatevs. This is all gonna. This is once again gonna get even more futzed with later on as we go. So it's like it doesn't. It's fine. Also, genuinely just trying to keep some of this quite sort of light and sketchy and not too involved in the name of this is a daily prompt list art challenge, and I don't want to be doing pieces that take like 60 hours to complete, because that kind of defeats, I feel like, a lot of the point of a challenge like this, which is to, you know, if you want to, produce an artwork for every prompt for 30 days, or 31 days rather. And if I were getting too detailed with it, that would become untenable, difficult, and stressful. And this is supposed to be relaxing, joyful, and a fun celebration of a piece of media that we all enjoy. And that's all. So I'm not over concerning myself. Anyways, oh no! Kobe says I have to go back to my job, which I do not like. I hate that for you. I genuinely do. I hope that it's not too unpleasant, all things considered. And I hope that it goes well. I will also have to be doing work this week. I mean, I'm always working. Even when I technically have time off, I end up finding things to do that are related to some kind of work. Whether it is artwork or my YouTube channel or other things. I'm always finding work to do, even when I probably shouldn't be. Anyways, Tal says I've not done the math on it, but I think 60 hours is more than one day. You know what? You might be right. I also haven't done the math, but I think you're probably correct. I should look that up maybe. I don't know. I'll get back to you at some point. Probably. We'll see. Anyways, whoops. I think I kind of maybe want to leave some of this like unfiltered by gubbins. Just have some of the background just be this beautiful sort of teal color, because actually I think it's real pretty. But I will add some more of this backgroundy stuff in the interim. Just because I do think that it is fun to have and to do. But yes. I wanna maybe finish these shapes and then call it there, I think. Anyways, I am making some Hungarian cabbage pasta for my din-dins tonight. Very excited for that. The classic kapostash testo, for anyone who is curious as to what it is called. It's kapostash testo, and it's very, very good. That just means cabbage noodles, because that's what we are making. And it involves basically sauteing some cabbage, maybe some onions if you have onions. I don't have onions, so I just don't bother with some paprika, because of course it's Hungarian food, so of course I'm going to add the paprika. Always do. And, what else? Some paprika, some, honestly, that kind of, the seasoning is quite simple. It's cabbage, paprika, maybe some onions if you have them, which I don't, and that's fine. Pasta, obviously, very, very well seasoned pasta. Maybe a little bit of, maybe finish with a little bit of butter if I'm feeling spicy. I know it's not good for my health, but dang it, it tastes a ding-dang delicious. So, you know, sometimes you gotta. Okay. Okay, I think that's a good start for kind of the background. I feel like hopefully you get a vibe of kind of its sort of receding as we go. As it kind of fades into the back. So that's fine. And might I be able to lift some little spots, or am I just going to kind of leave it? I might kind of leave it, actually. I might kind of just leave it at this and keep it really nice and simple, because actually I think that looks quite cool. And just really have the focus be on these two figures in the foreground, and let the rest of it be a little abstract. I don't know. I think like there will be a floor here, obviously, but I think this looks kind of cool. I actually think this looks. I kind of don't want to. This is a little bit less dark than it is in game, but I actually like this. I don't want to futz with it too much. Maybe I don't know. I maybe don't want to overdo it. I'm gonna paint in a floor under their foots, which again I'm keeping quite simple. Because I do want to keep these things quite simple. So there's that. More stuff will be added tomorrow off stream. But I think that's a really good start. All of this needs to dry before I really add any more gubbins to it anyway, so I kind of need to stop for now and go cook dinner. So that's a good. But let's bring back today's piece, because we did finish this today, and I feel pretty positive about it. I hope you like it too. I had a nice time doing it. With these pieces, I really like really leaning into what the watercolor wants to do. And watercolor wants to do. Shut up. And using that to as best effect as I can. But anyways, I'm gonna see who is online, who we can do a little raid on. Who would we like to say hi to? Who's someone we maybe haven't done a little stream? Okay, you know what? It's been a fairly chill time today, so I feel like let's go see another chill person. Let me just check and see that this person isn't just about to finish. But if you want just like a pleasant place to hang out, I think that just some comfy getting stuff done. Are you about to end? Are you about to end? You are not about to end? Okay. Alright. Hopefully they're not just about to end. I don't think they are. But we're going to raid Yepany, because I haven't raided Yepany in a while, and they're lovely. So, have a generic raid message. We'll pop some, we'll pop some bandicoots in, because why not? If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes with your raid message. If you do not have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message or append any cool emotes that you do have. Regardless, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will be back on Thursday doing Silk Song Art Month art. And I hope you have a lovely week in the meantime. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Where is my thanks for watching screen? There we are. Good night and good luck.